Hello everyone, it's GigaBeef here, and today we're revisiting Tarkov's grenade launchers. When the original FN40 GL was added to the game, the community exploded with rage because of the ease of access at the time and its incredible kill potential. The blast could go through walls and it had a very wide radius. These days though, you almost never see it anymore after it was tucked away behind endgame quests, banned from the flea, and the grenade effects themselves were nerfed a little bit too. But before we continue, today's video is sponsored by the Ridge Wallet, a really robust solution to both card and key carrying. Prior to switching to Ridge, I used to use this wallet, which is okay I guess, but I also used to carry around this massive set of keys. The Ridge Wallet on the other hand holds up to 12 cards in a really satisfyingly secure way, as well as cash on the clip here. It comes in a ton of cool designs and it blocks unsolicited RFID reading as well as an additional bonus. Honestly, one of the best things about it is just the build quality. It's so light, but it's so much more durable than a regular wallet, and also it's literally the size of a card, so it fits into a front pocket really easily. Same goes for the key case. This holds 2 to 6 keys, and my car key goes on a little ring at the back. After reviewing my massive wad of keys, I need precisely, 2 of them, so I feel a bit silly lugging around literally 13 keys and 4 tags for years. The Ridge team are so confident that you'll be converted that they have a 45-day test drive period, after which you can get your money back if you don't love it and a lifetime warranty if you do. What's more, you can get the best offer right now at ridge.com/gigaridge to save up to 40% off through December the 22nd. So that's ridge.com/gigaridge to join the 50,000 strong 5-star rated proud owners of the Ridge Wallet. Alright, so back to the grenade launchers. With the advent of the goons, there is another grenade launcher in the game as well, which is the M32A1 6-shot revolver. We're not going to spend much time on this one because, as you might imagine, although this is incredibly strong, it only drops from Big Pipe the boss, and even then not every time, making it one of, if not the rarest weapon in the entire game. It does use the same ammunition as the FN40 though. Automatic stationary launchers also exist on Customs and Reserve, which are powerful in specific situations like shelling dorms, but because their positions are well known, it's advisable to get off them as soon as possible once you've fired. For the GL40 itself, this can be accessed at Peacekeeper 4 for 1 VPX, 5 military cables and 5 military circuit boards, costing about 600k if you can get your parts at a decent level on the flea market. This is certainly not cheap, but it is around the same if not less than a Reap-IR thermal for example. You'll also have to complete Wet Job 6 before you're allowed to buy this weapon. This quest also unlocks M61 as well, so it's quite useful and requires you to get to Sniper level 7. This is fairly painful, but between the quest Mentor, which gives you 3 levels, and Shooter Born in Heaven and Shooter Part 8, which give 1 each, it's more doable than it used to be. Once you have your hands on one of these launchers, there's almost nothing that you can do with it in the weapon modding screen. Improving ergonomics with the better grip is basically it, and interestingly, the only slightly long-ranged optic that can be put on it is the 3x EOTech HHS. Nothing else is compatible for some reason. As much as I dislike the HHS, you get at least some zoom with it, so I guess it's better than nothing, but there does seem to be something seriously wrong with how the zeroing is functioning on it. As you can see here, we're looking at a range of 200 meters, and between the 1x and the 3x mode, the reticle is in a completely different place, which makes the zoomed version systematically undershoot even when it's 0 to 200 as well. Regarding ammo, there are a bunch of different cartridges available for the GL40, 5 real grenades and a shotgun shell. The shotgun cartridge is really bad, and you'd basically be better off just using a normal shotgun, but for all of the others they travel at 185 meters per second, which is very slow compared to the projectiles that we're used to in Tarkov, and broadly speaking the explosive grenades have similar effectiveness. However, the most important stat that isn't shown here is the fuse distance. Each grenade only arms after a certain time after leaving the barrel. If you hit something before then, it simply doesn't go off, similar to the impact grenades. The 2 grenades with a 1 at the end, the M381s and the M441s, are the short-range fuses, which given that they arm after 2 to 3 meters makes them incredibly strong at shorter distances. This was really the reason why the GL was so hated in the first place, because rather than being used for its intended purpose of long-range fire support, it was overwhelmingly brought to places like factory, labs and shoreline resort with lots of walls and used at about 5 meters to one-shot enemy players. The other 3 grenades, the M386, the M406 and the M433, have a much longer arming fuse, which means that they are only usable over what appears to be about 27 meters, which is a surprisingly far distance. This would have been a much more balanced approach to introducing the weapon in the first place if only these were available. Accessing these grenades is not straightforward, and 2 of them are banned from the flea. Oddly, these are the M441, one of the short-range grenades, and the M433, one of the longer-ranged ones. This leaves the other short-range grenade, the M381, and the 2 longer-range M386 and M406 on the flea market. So you might already be thinking, okay, well, one of the short-range grenades is available on the flea, the M381s, so why don't we just buy this and make the grenade launcher amazing? Well, unfortunately, M381s are practically not purchasable, as they are all typically barters for stupid things like labs keycards. As for the others, the M386 can be bought from Peacekeeper 4 for $387 each and 1 per reset, which is pretty expensive, something like 40k a go using the regular Peacekeeper exchange rate, and it's typically even more on the flea market. Now, as for aiming, we've already seen that these grenades have an incredibly slow initial velocity, making leading targets and projectile drop more important here than with regular bullets. Interestingly though, because so few people have used these grenade launchers recently, the benefits that the GL40 got from the 1212 ballistics update hasn't really been noticed. Prior to what was effectively a change in gravity from 3 times Earth's to what it should be IRL now, this dramatically affected slow projectiles like those for the VSS and 9mm from MP5SDs, and even more so for the 40mm grenades. This meant that you had to arc them to a ridiculous extent, which saw the barrel of the launcher sticking up into the sky and was unusable with most of the optics in the game because the correction was so extreme the reticle wasn't even visible anymore. Although it is unfortunate that almost all of the long-range optics have now been made incompatible with the GL, the zeroing now does function much more normally and is technically a massive buff to using these at distance. It isn't perfect on flat ground, undershooting a little bit, but certainly a massive improvement on what it used to be. One thing to bear in mind is that the GL40 has terrible accuracy. Even at 100 durability, it starts with an MOA of 20.93, which means that shots will land within a circle 1.2 meters across at 100 meters. Remember that Tarkov's MOA is in terms of radius, so it's 2 times bigger than you'd expect compared to the real world. At 200 meters, we're now talking about a 2 to 3 meter error on where these shots can land. This doesn't really matter out in the open shooting down onto poor unsuspecting targets because of the blast radius, but if trying to slide a shot past obstacles, you can easily end up hitting the object instead, even if it looks like you shouldn't. So this brings us onto our general strategy. The GLs are best used in places where there is enough surrounding material of some kind to utilise the blast radius properly. This is one of the main reasons why it works so well on factory and labs in the first place using the short range grenades, because players are close to walls and doors constantly and any shot in their general area will usually hit something next to them and most likely kill them. But given that the short range grenades are now next to impossible to get a hold of, the next best thing is to get some high ground and use it to shoot down onto people. The floor acts just as well for getting that splash damage, but obviously you need to be above it enough. Fighting on flat ground or up hills and cliffs is extremely difficult due to the ranging of the grenades, as we're certainly not trying to strike a direct hit. Also, with the slow reload time after each shot, it is advisable to use them in a duo if possible, and it's a very good idea to bring a secondary weapon for close quarters or just when you run out of grenades. Something light like an MP9N that we've spoken about in a previous video would work, as it's only around 2 kilograms. If you go for a regular optic rather than the HHS on the grenade launcher itself, it's only 3.5 kilos as well, so it's actually not too bad to have 2 weapons for your overall kit. Finally, let's see how it performed in a few raids. I'm half tempted just to take a grenade launcher and just try and blow people up. Should we do that? I don't know if this is sensible in any way. I don't care about a bag. It's fine. I know it's interchange, but not bothered. Okay. Yeah, the big unfortunate thing about this whole kit is just trying to balance between long range and short range, you know? Because if someone's closer than 25 meters, I ain't able to kill them with this gun. So we have to make sure whoever we engage is further away than that. You just can't get hold of these nades anymore. Okay, scav's fine. Did we kill him? feel like we might have. Actually, we can check the quest. No, I don't think we did kill him. I was on 21 before. Actually, was I on 21? Oh, I'm not even sure now. I should have checked what I was. I should have seen what I was on before. I thought I heard somebody die over here. Oh. We did get him. Okay, I just want to make sure there's not two of them. Another one hidden off over there or something. Hey! Look at that, a GL kill. Big seats took... He took one. Poor guy. Poor guy. Well, that's the way, eh? That's the way. We'll keep it on this. What do you have in here? LPS? Okay, that's fine. Next up, go and check out my video on more expensive Tarkov items, the thermals, and how they stack up right now. Otherwise, as usual, a big shout out to all my patrons. Hit all the buttons if you enjoyed the video, and as always, have fun in your raids.